Okay, so picture this. It's a totally normal afternoon, and then suddenly the whole country is jolted by an emergency alert. That's exactly what happened for millions in Japan recently when North Korea fired a whole barrage of missiles. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack what went down, why it happened, and, what this all means for a part of the world that's already pretty on edge.
And just like that, sirens are wailing. Your phone is buzzing off the hook with this incredibly urgent alert. This was the scene all across Japan as its emergency systems lit up, warning everyone about a potential incoming threat. It was this moment of real, collective anxiety, all triggered by a launch hundreds of miles away. And then, bam, the confirmation drops. This official message from the Prime Minister's office, it wasn't just some update. It was basically the starting gun. This is the exact moment a potential threat turns into a full-blown national crisis, and all those emergency plans kick into gear.
So, how did this all actually unfold? Let's dive in and break down those absolutely critical first moments.
Right, and the sheer scale of this is kind of staggering. We're not talking about a single missile test here. This was a volley of 10 ballistic missiles. That kind of synchronized launch isn't just about checking if the tech works. It's a very deliberate show of force. It's meant to send a loud and clear message to everyone in the neighborhood. What's really wild is just how fast this whole thing happened. At 1:24 p.m., the launches are spotted. Literally minutes later, Japan's nationwide alert system is going off. And then, not long after that, you can almost hear the collective sigh of relief when officials confirm the missiles landed safely in the sea. The entire crisis, from start to finish, unfolded in just a handful of minutes. So with missiles in the air, the next big piece of the puzzle was the response. How did Japan and its allies scramble to react to such an immediate and serious threat? The reaction was instant, and it was international. This quote from Japan's defense minister says it all. The first move was to get everyone on the same page. Japan, the US, South Korea, they all started sharing intelligence right away, tracking the missiles and pooling their analysis. It's a perfect example of a well-oiled alliance just kicking right into high gear. And you gotta understand, this response went way beyond just the military. It was a society-wide effort. Think about it. While military radar was tracking missile trajectories, civilians were getting alerts telling them to stay inside. The Coast Guard was warning ships to clear the area, and air traffic controllers were rerouting airplanes. The country's entire security system, from top to bottom, just lit up.
Okay, so this brings us to the million-dollar question. Why now? And the answer seems to be a combination of two big things: political protest and good old-fashioned technological progress. So to really get the why, you have to look at the bigger picture. These missile launches happened at the same time as the yearly joint military drills between the US and South Korea. Now, the Allies always say these exercises are purely defensive, but from North Korea's perspective, they look like a rehearsal for an invasion, a major provocation. So they often respond with their own display of military might. But making a political point is only part of the story. These launches are also a super important field test for North Korea's weapons developers. They're working hard on perfecting solid fuel missiles. See, unlike liquid fuel ones, which can take hours to get ready, solid fuel missiles can be launched almost immediately. That ability to launch on short notice, it's a total strategic game changer. It makes their weapons much harder to take out preemptively and, frankly, a lot more dangerous. So when you put it all together, the protest, the technological advancement, what does it all mean for the region? Well, an event like this sends some serious shockwaves across the entire geopolitical landscape of East Asia. And this, right here, is the question on everybody's mind. After a massive show of force like this and a full-scale emergency response, what's the new reality? What's it like living under this kind of constant threat? The major takeaway here is that the situation is basically one of ongoing, delicate tension. Every single launch just dials up the instability. Every military exercise from the Allies tests this really fragile balance of deterrence. And as North Korea's weapons program keeps getting better, the Korean peninsula just cements its status as a global flashpoint. This isn't some temporary crisis. This is the new normal. And all of that leaves us with this one final, really tricky question. What one side calls a defensive drill, the other sees as a direct provocation. What one side sees as a necessary weapons test, the other sees as a terrifying threat. It really makes you wonder, in this incredibly fragile balance, where exactly is the line between preventing a war and accidentally starting one? Definitely something to think about.